and Circian brought to them the head of the brute. The victory was achieved on the shores of Aurethys. The brigands escaped out of fear after seeing the destiny of their captain, and the Austramaster warriors celebrated with the men of the City of Gold. As an act of gratitude, Circian, the merchant king, offered vessels full of the precious metal, and Circian sent them to his lands. This would make it clear to the Austromasters people of the first achievements of the young hero, and would fuel the envy of the lords of the islands. Celebrations were carried on for the rest of the night, and sleep came to all. The next morning, Circian met with the merchant king and expressed words of friendship and alliance between the peoples of the south. The young hero learned from him that the right speech and words can win or lose battles. Circian then remembered the words of the old mysterious man and felt the need to depart before night. He and his men sailed on with their ship, full of provisions and weapons. The young savior didn't know it yet, but his actions sent a message in all the lands of the southern seas. It showed how strong people could win over the tyranny of the unknown enemy named Nazgrak. His evil kingdom would soon know of everything, and worry would get to him. In the meantime, night came to the seas, and Circian carefully looked at the sky to see the sign announced by the mysterious man. There it was, the brightest light ever seen in those days. It was the star of liberating, the bringer of hope. Amazed were all the crew with the young hero, and the star seemed to trace with the others a pattern that showed where to go. Aurethys, the strongest and most courageous warrior of them all, swore to name her future daughter after it. They all knew from stories of the brightness and name of the star of liberating, the guidance of the sailors, the bringer of light. After 4 days, they reached the biggest island of the southern seas. It was named Austromasters. Many were the people there, and many reached here from the southern continent. A wise king governed this land for many years and defended it from the hands of evil with his best. The young warriors descended from their ship, and a messenger immediately came to them with an invitation to the king's palace. Circian gladly accepted, and all they marched through the city to get there. The town was the most defended of the south, with mighty towers and tough walls, and an army of the most experienced warriors that lived through many wars. Little land was available if someone wanted to attack, but nobody ever came back from it. Circian and the 16 Austromasters were greeted as guests at the king's palace, and food and rest were offered to them. By night, they were called to the king's hall and were greeted by him. The hall was spacious, made of pinkish-orange limestone, with many ornaments and drapes that showed the figure of a warrior shielding from swords and arrows, and carrying a spear. The king wore a crown that looked like a ring of gold around his head. He had a long gray beard, eyes of stone, deep cold, and the body of an elder man that looked like it could throw stones that would sink entire ships. "Welcome to Austromasters," began saying the king, to which Circian said, "We appreciate your hospitality, noble king. We would like to ask you about your name." "State yours first if you were kind," said the monarch. "We are Austromasters of the south. My name is Circian, son of unknown parents and nephew of the lord of the northern island. I recognize you people from your armaments. Only Austromasters wear so lightly, and yet they are so lethal on land and on sea." "The fame of the ancestors precedes us," replied Circian. "I would say so too, young warrior, but the words don't last for everybody, especially for your people of the last years." "What makes you say so, noble king?" questioned the young hero. "Your kin was our most affectionate ally. The two of us defended those seas and islands against every attack from the continent for centuries. You were unmatched on the water, and we were unmatched on our lands." Circian felt that the king was beginning to feel antagonistic against them, and was diligent in listening. The king carried on. "But this was many years ago when I was still a little boy and was amazed by your prowess, until you abandoned us. No Austromaster ship sailed here for all those years, and we were undefended. Attacks came for us, and I lost my father in battle. After I took the throne at 20 years old, I began making this island the most defended of the south, and improved its warriors and walls. It's thanks to us that your lands are not burning with fire yet, and that no soldier of the continent has set foot on your home. We're not strong enough in water to stop pirates, but it could be much worse for your people." Circian, after hearing the harsh words of the king, began with a gesture of servitude by bowing down, to which his warriors, astounded, did the same. "Dear mighty king of Ikralos, I ask you to forgive my people for all the wrongdoing they've done to you. We are indeed strong warriors, but the art of the sword does not reflect the virtue of the heart. Malevolent intents took over the powerful ones of my kindred, and their minds always sought division, conflict, and violence. Weaker we became by time, and no longer we have the strength to even save ourselves. Now the same hearts reign over my people in the islands, and they challenged me to free the cities of the southern seas with only 1 ship and 16 men. For they fear my potential to unite everyone, and all they desire is my death." The king listened to what the young hero wanted to say, and after he finished, he stood up from his throne and took his spear, laying near the seat. It was the most resistant and powerful weapon of the monarchs of Ikralos, for it was used for generations by mighty men. The man who forged it was unknown, but he made the head of bronze look like gold. Now the king stood tall and powerful before the bowing Austromasters and stated, "I hear your words, young warrior. No one of your folk would ever bow down to me and ask for forgiveness, but you did. You are unique, and I feel to trust you. But I don't have the same faith in your blood. If you speak truth for the people of your islands, forgiveness will be granted to them only when they'll get back to defend these waters. I can forgive you, young warriors in this hall, but I cannot forgive your entire kin. If you have nothing more to say, you can rest tonight and depart from the shores tomorrow at first light." Circian was discouraged by those words. The mighty king of Ikralos could not forgive the betrayal of the Austromasters, and from that point the young hero didn't know what to do. He got up, bid the king farewell, and took his leave with the rest of the crew. "Wait, young man," stated the monarch. Circian turned back. "I didn't announce my name to you. It's Itrare." "Glad to know of it, noble king. May these walls last for centuries," replied the young hero, to which the king nodded and everyone departed. The Austromaster warriors went to their beds that night, but their hearts, most notably Circian's, didn't. Regrettably, they didn't get the grace of an old, powerful ally.